Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Regimental Combat Team, Turn 6.5, Commonwealth. It is January 1939. The Commonwealth has 2 tech rules. First, I tried for radar at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 1, so I failed. Second, I tried for advanced submarine warfare at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 5, so I failed. Purchases. Great Britain has 16 IPP to spend. I will purchase 3 militia for 6, 1 infantry for 3, that's 9, 1 marine for 4, that's 13, 1 cavalry for 3, that's 16. FEC has 10 IPP to spend, 1 militia for 2, 1 infantry for 3, that's 5, and I'll complete construction of the fortification in Calcutta for 5, that's 10. Anzac has 5 IPP to spend. I'll purchase 1 militia for 2 and 1 infantry for 3, that's 5. Previewing the French, they have 10 IPP to spend. They will purchase 5 militia. Combat movement. I reached out to Sarge's Shellhole and Hambone to review my combat moves, and they declined to declare war. So from Lower Egypt, on the southern side, the naval transport will leave port to Sea Zone I-5, and then it will cross into M8, move into M4, and then into M2, then go in port in Gibraltar. From Gibraltar, 1 naval transport will leave port to Sea Zone A44, and it will go up to A21, and then go in port in southern England. And then from southern England, the naval transport that starts there will leave port to Sea Zone A21, carrying 2 infantry, and move down to Gibraltar, and then go in port, dropping off those 2 infantry in Gibraltar. Sorry about that. Okay, then we've got some combat movement with these 4 destroyers. There's going to be a series of convoy escort duty assignments with those 4 destroyers that start off in A44. One will move to Sea Zone A19 and go on escort duty. One will go to A20 and go on escort duty. One will go to A21 and go on escort duty. And one will go to A35 and go on escort duty. Okay, that's the end of my combat movement. Non-combat movement. From London, 1 airborne and 1 anti-aircraft artillery will move over to southern England. Bring me up to 2 anti-aircraft artillery in southern England. Then we'll go down to Sea Zone A44. There's 4 naval units left in that task force card. There's a heavy cruiser, 2 British light cruisers, and 1 Anzac light cruiser, and they will go in port in Gibraltar. From Gibraltar, that air transport is going to fly up to southern England. Now we'll go over to Lower Egypt. From Lower Egypt, 4 infantry, a mountain infantry, and an anti-aircraft artillery will move into western Egypt. From Lower Egypt, 1 naval transport that was on the northern side will leave port to see zone M8 and strategic naval move 1 to M4, 2 to M2, pick up 1 infantry and 1 anti-aircraft artillery, and move back to M8, so that's 3-4, and then go in port in Lower Egypt. Okay, from Sea Zone I-5, 1 learned coastal submarine will pass through the Suez into Sea Zone M8. From Aden, 1 Anzac naval transport will leave port to Sea Zone I-4 and then move 1-2 to M8 and go in port on the northern half, join that other naval transport in port there on the northern side of Lower Egypt. Disturbing. Okay, I think I got it. All right, sorry about that. Now we'll go down to Cape Town. The infantry that's there in Cape Town will move over 1 space to South Africa. Okay, I think that's correct. And then over in Calcutta, I will have 1 FEC infantry come off the task force card and move into southern India. And that's it. Now we're going to place units. We'll put 1 FEC infantry on Calcutta. So the net effect is we stay with the same number. And then 1 militia will go in Maharashtra. And then we'll finish construction of that fortification in Calcutta. For the Anzac, they will just place the militia and infantry in Sydney. That brings me to 3 militia in Sydney and 2 infantry and a motorized. Then New Zealand has North and South Island with 1 militia apiece. So we'll see if I can put that on camera. There's that and those guys. And then Hong Kong with an infantry, British Malaya with a militia, Sarawak with a militia, Ceylon with a militia, southern India with an infantry, Maharashtra with a militia. The fortification is completed in Calcutta. Calcutta has 2 British infantry, 7 FEC infantry, 2 Anzac infantry, 1 Gurkha, 2 Anzac artillery, 2 British anti-aircraft artillery, 2 FEC anti-aircraft artillery. Okay, continuing with place units, both Kuwait and Aden will get a militia. Guess I don't need that import marker. And down in South Africa, at Cape Town, I will place a militia and a cavalry. Sorry, that's off camera. I worried that if I turn it sideways, it has turned my whole viewing for my camera when I post it sideways. I don't know why that is, but anyway, down in Cape Town there is a militia and a cavalry. In Southwest Africa there is a seaplane, and in South Africa there's an infantry. I will hold the rest of my disposition for France. Okay, so up here in London, I will place 1 infantry and 1 marine. Collect income. Great Britain collects 16. FEC collects 7. And Anzac collects 5. All right. France. I have 10 IPP to spend. I purchased 5 militia. Oh, I've got teed up for PBE on long-range aircraft. Hoping I miss because it just hurts so bad psychologically. Okay, 4. So had average luck with the French. Let's see. Combat movement. Got some combat moves. So from C-Zone A44 down here, these 3 ships are all going to go on convoy escort duty up in the Atlantic further north. So let's take a peek where they end up. The destroyer will go to A19 and join the British. The light cruiser will go to A20 and go on convoy escort duty. And the battleship will go on escort duty alone in A28. I feel like I've done something wrong. Why do I only have 1 destroyer in A35? That is not right. I hope it's okay I hope my opponents will allow me to move 1 more destroyer onto convoy escort. Oh, I know what it is. I don't want to have this guy in A21. I'm going to have him go to A35. I hope that's okay with my opponents. If you don't like it and you want to stick it to me, you can, because I did roll tech for the French. But I think that's okay. All right. Oh, no. I did it right. Keep that guy in A21, because I have it even written down. I was like, wait, why don't I have 2 there? But I do. I have 1 more French, or a couple more French convoy escort moves that I messed up on. Okay, sorry about that. It's the way I'm doing it is M4 here. This guy is going to go 1, 2, 3 to A35 and be the second guy there in A44. And then from M8, that guy will come off escort, well, he'll go on escort duty in A44. So no one's on escort duty in the med, and that French guy is on escort duty in A44. All right, confusing enough. Now let's do some non-combat movement. While we're down here, these two transports will move one space up to I-5 during non-combat. And then in France. Okay, I'm going to have a couple strategic rail moves. The Foreign Legion from Picardy will strategic rail move to Aquitaine. The artillery from Alsace-Lorraine will strategic rail move to Normandy. All right, one anti-aircraft artillery will move into Paris. And then everything that's in Picardy that remains, which is 7 infantry, 1 mountain infantry, and 2 motorized artillery, infantry, they'll move to Normandy. From Paris, 4 infantry will move to Normandy. So that gets me up to 11 infantry in Normandy. And then a mountain infantry. All right. And then I will move 3 militia from Alsace-Lorraine into Paris. So right now I have 10 infantry. I'm sorry, 10 militia in Paris. And just 1 in Alsace-Lorraine. All right, place units. I'm going to place 2 militia in Alsace-Lorraine. And 3, tried to pull a fast one. Grabbed a green chip when I meant to grab a white chip. So I just got 3 there. I placed 2, and then I'll place 3 in Paris. And so that'll get me to 13 there. 13 militia in Paris. Now let me think about this for a second. Is this what I want to do? I think I've too light in Paris. Let's see. 13, 11. I'm definitely way too light, aren't I? Yeah. Okay, sorry for doing this on the fly. Let's knock it down to 10 infantry in Normandy, and we'll move the mountain and 1 infantry into Paris. Let's look at this. It just sucks. There's not a whole lot you can do. I think my problem is building. Maybe I'll only put 1 militia in Alsace-Lorraine, so there'll be 2 there, and 1 in Normandy, so I'm still legal. All right, so let's look at this. So sorry to call an audible. Not very good planning on my part. So right now, I think I said I had 13 militia in Paris. And then I've got just 10 Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think that's about about as good as I can do. I wonder if... Sorry to... I think that's good enough. Sorry to drive you guys crazy, making you wait. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Collect income. I've got 10 IPP, unfortunately. Let's review disposition of forces. So in Northern England, 1 militia. In Southern England, 4 militia, an airborne infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, a fighter, a naval transport, a light carrier, in port, naval, or a torpedo boat destroyer, and a naval transport. In London, an infantry, a marine, 2 battleships, and a battlecruiser in port. In Sea Zone A23, a French battleship, and this task force, which is a coastal defense ship, destroyer, and 2 subs. Also, there's a fighter on map. In Sea Zone A21, there's a destroyer on escort duty and a French fighter on map. In A20, on escort duty, a French light cruiser and a British destroyer. In A19, French destroyer and British destroyer on escort duty. In A18, British destroyer and French torpedo boat destroyer on escort duty. A27, a light carrier with a torpedo boat, with a tactical bomber, a British destroyer, an Anzac destroyer, and a torpedo boat destroyer. In Sea Zone A28, a French battleship on escort duty. In A35, a British destroyer, a French destroyer on escort duty. In A44, a French destroyer on escort duty, French medium bomber on map. In Gibraltar, a militia, 3 infantry, 2 marines, 1 anti-aircraft artillery in port, 1 battleship, 3 heavy cruisers, 2 British light cruisers, 1 Anzac light cruiser. Also, there's a medium bomber in Gibraltar. In Malta, a militia. In Cyprus, a militia. In M8, a coastal submarine. In Western Egypt, 4 infantry, a mountain infantry, and an anti-aircraft artillery. In Lower Egypt, a militia, an infantry, an anti-aircraft artillery. On the northern side of Lower Egypt, a British naval transport and an Anzac naval transport in port. In the southern side of Lower Egypt, 2 heavy cruisers and a destroyer in port. In Sea Zone I5, 4 French submarines, 2 French naval transports. In Aden and Kuwait, a militia. And I think I went over everything else. Sorry about my French hesitation. I'll probably think about that as I'm uploading and decide if I want to monkey with that a little bit more. I should have just said that before. But next up is Hambone with Italy, turn 6.7.